Okay, hello. We are here with our what is this? The fourth cube finals? Really been
Fourth
four
cube.
seasons already? I'm excited that I get to be the one in the casting chair because this time Mikey is in the finals. And we're looking at a pretty good matchup. It should be a lot of fun. We've got Al, Miss Altava in Untapped. We'll go take a look in just a minute at that. But we're gonna go through these decks really quickly, just talk through them a little bit, see how this game's gonna go, and we'll get right into this match.
I'm
A lot of
excited.
fun today. I am Adam Bowman, and we have Ian here, and the two of us are gonna be talking you through everything.
It's going to be hype. This is a long-awaited matchup. We've got the reigning champ here in Hal versus the coordinator of the entire event, Mikey.
Gonna be a lot of fun. Mikey's deck is pretty scary here. They are rapid fire Lucario. We're gonna go through this really quick. So Lucario is their main attacker, and you can see that most of their Pokemon are Lucarios. They have the real basics. Uh, they have Reflexive Retaliation and Aura Sphere on their main attackers. That's these 100 HP ones. Very powerful. This is a Gen 4 cube. So lots of Diamond, Pearl, Platinum cards, which is a pretty medium power level. It's high for the single prizers, but this is right before we switched over to EXs, GXs, and 2 and 3 prize Pokemon. So
That's
these
right.
the speed is a little lower, and Mikey has made it through this event by just ignoring that and building the fastest possible deck. So most of his attackers are going to be in the form of these Lucarios, and they're pretty basic. 1 energy for 40 damage, 3 energies for 70 damage. But that is a lot in this form. Then Lucario level X is this big attacker, uh, and it hits for 80, but it says it takes more. It's only 3 energies for 80 damage, but when you use it, you take 30 more damage because that is how close combat works in Pokemon. But its Pokemon Power stance says that the turn it comes down, it can't take damage from an attack. So that's a huge tempo swing. Start out just attacking, you take a few prizes, and then you put down that stance, and you can't be hit on that turn. There's no attack back. Um, Firstly, we have Hal's deck, and Hal is Heavy Fire Blaziken. So Hal is looking to set up an engine of Blazikens with these fire starters to put fire energies down. They're much heavier attacks, much higher energy costs, but most of these attacks cost energies. You'll have to discard if you hit hard. These Arcanines also hit really fast, or really hard and a little less fast, and they hit themselves a bit too. So Hal is looking to set up big one-shot attacks with Flareons, Arcanines, and Blazikens. In the late game, Hal will usually take it, but we're gonna see if Mikey can get in there and stop them before they get their Blazikens set up.
Yeah.
Mikey get the Lucarios down and then just start hitting hard with these.
The setup is going to be key here. We'll have to see if Mikey can kind of overwhelm Hal before she's able to set up, what they have in store with the deck. They've got the huge HP Pokemon, but it takes much, much longer for them to set up. We're just going to have to see. I know, spoilers a little bit, they're starting a pretty important Mon here, so
So taking a look at the early game, Mikey just wants to attack. Mikey wants to get some energies down on these Riolus, hit hard with Lucario, hit hard with Lucario level X, and keep hitting while they set up the rest of their game. Hal just wants to evolve. So they're going to try and use this Spiritomb. It's one of the stronger cards in the deck, in the whole cube, really. But Spiritomb, Cleffa, Jirachi EX, and Lapras EX are their support Pokemon. They're looking to get Fire Starters set up on Blaziken so that they can power up their Arcanines and Flareons to hit a little bit harder. Then we've got Blacksmith and Welder to accelerate energies outside of their Blazikens. And so that's a strong supporter setup. You get a lot of speed out of those supporters. But Mikey is looking for a more controlling supporter build. These Staraptor FB level X's, their fast call lets them pick up a supporter every turn. And if they can search up a delinquent, discard a stadium in play. If you do, your opponent discards 3 cards from their hand. That is a hard hit, and you can keep recurring it. That's actually how Ian lost. I
yep.
just got sped out. Uh,
It's a busted play. It's very strong, and it Similarly, it does require just a little bit of setup. If Michael wants to overwhelm Hal with that strategy, he's going to need to get the level up Staraptor and the Porygon 2 with the download ability to really start firing off multiple supporters per turn. So ideally, he's going to have a good setup behind his strong Lucario Attacker, but we're going to have to see.
Yeah, once Mikey gets going with his supporters between Delinquent and Plumeria to take out energies or cards in hand, then Cynthia and Caitlyn, Palpad, and a lone VS Seeker will keep those heavier supporters coming in. Ruins of Alph and Island Cave just make sure that you keep hitting, and Training Court lets Mikey recover some of his energies. He is on a low energy count. He's only got 10 energies total, plus 9 basic fighting energies, so you can see this, and 1 strong energy. And strong energy is one of the strongest cards in the queue. 20 extra damage per attack is a lot. If Hal gets set up, Mikey's going to have a really tough time coming back. And most of Hal's deck is dedicated to setting up. If Hal gets started on a Spiritomb, Mikey loses a lot of steam. And it looks like we're going to switch over. I think that is what Hal got to start on. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we will talk you through this. Good match.
Excited to do it. Do you want me to go ahead and let them know to
Yeah,
begin?
if you could just hop over and let them know you're getting started.
All
So,
right.
looking at their hands, we see that Hal, Dale's name is Michael. Okay, so Hal has a Blaziken and an Arcanine in hand and only an Eevee in play, but they're starting on Spiritomb, and that is the strongest start they can have. Hal drew a
Mhm.
Pokegear for the turn, and that's great for picking up a supporter, and we've got an N and 2 energies. Hal really wants to get a body down onto the bench so that they can take advantage of that Darkness Grace. Keystone Steel, so we are playing by Diamond and Pearl rules. That means that you can attack on the first turn. You can't play trainers or supporters on the first turn, but you can play an energy and attack. Hal wants to Darkness Grace if they can, but they don't have anything to evolve because each has Energy Evolution, and Energy Evolution already goes to get the evolution even on turn 1. So we'll see if Hal decides it's worth putting a damage counter on Spiritomb just to get it out. Right now, nobody has any trainers, and Mikey doesn't have any energies.
Ooh, that's right. And if we look at Michael's prizes real quick, it looks like he has 3 energy prized. Oregon in the prizes is also semi a big deal.
That
Hopefully you can draw into some energy soon under the lock, the Keystone Seal lock.
that their only Porygon.
They should have one more if memory serves. No, it's just the Ditto. Oof,
So they
that
have
is
one
big.
Porygon, and so Ditto does matter because Ditto lets them cheat. It lets them cheat into the
Yep.
next thing. So this, if they draw the Porygon 2, which lets them play a second supporter per turn, they do have to discard it still. Um, then they do have the Dittos. They might be fine, but they might also, they don't know their prizes. So we get to know Nail's prizes here, but Nail doesn't. So Nail doesn't know their only Porygon is prized. They might just turn that Ditto into Lucario because they don't have a Riolu. So they can play supporters. This says trainer cards, and at the time, supporters, items, and stadiums were all different. The Spiritomb still allows for stadiums and supporters.
Mm.
Scary
I'm
card.
taking definitely a scary card. Definitely still, the computer search is a dead card, enhanced hammer dead card at the moment. If
But
we
they can
look at Owl's prizes, 2 Growlithe, that's not great, as well as a few setup balls. The Arcanine might not come out as quickly as they might hope with both Growlithes prized. I think they have one more Growlithe in deck, so it is
okay.
quite possible that we'll still see one, but
Yeah, but starting down 3 powerful basic search finders, like
yeah,
Hal just wants basics right now. And the fact that
exactly.
5 basics are locked up effectively
Mhm.
is going to make this a little tough. But if they get 1 basic down, especially a Torchic, then that Darkness Grace is going to take over the game pretty quick. They already have an attack route, which is good news. Flame Screen is excellent against all these Lucarios. We'll see how Mikey resolves this Pokemon. This is a big play. It's one of the best turn 1 plays in the whole cube, Pokemon Collector.
Yep. Excellent starting supporter here.
So let's see. Mikey has they already have their Ditto out, and they already have a Staraptor FB. So they really just want Jirachi and Riolu, but they don't have access to a Jirachi EX or Lapras, something to convert that supporter into more supporters. They really just need to get that Staraptor FB out to keep that engine.
We see the Jirachi, we see the Riolu, that makes sense.
Probably
That
gonna
detour attack on Jirachi is pretty big.
it
Free
is
attack, uses another effect of a supporter. He can continue to kind of loop the supporters with that attack in
if
a pinch.
Mikey gets one energy, they can start attacking this. That's really all you can do against this. If you don't kill it,
True.
then eventually Hal's gonna pick it up or switch it out. Um, they get to retreat. Spear Team is deceptively strong because only Hal has total control over uh when they get to play items. It's only relevant while it's active. So you can retreat, put something else out, play out your trainers, and then maybe play a super scoop up, pick that up, put the Spear Team back out, put off trainers again for another turn. So Hal drew a burning energy, which is an important piece, and then they end resetting the hands for both players. Everybody shuffles up and
Ooh,
draws 6. That
this
was
looks
much better for Mikey.
yeah, excellent pickup here for Mikey with, twos, incredible. We've got the Staraptor level X, we've got the Porygon 2, we got Lucario and Lucario level X. He has every single evolution needed here to
That
start the ball rolling.
that's the complete engine. Hal
Yep,
didn't get the Torchic, and Mikey got everything they needed.
incredible.
Oof. That
Yeah, we have
hurts.
you're right. I mean, no basics on Hal's side. The rare candy's here, alone, cold, no way to be used.
They can't even
This is
retreat the
looking tough.
Spiritomb hit with the
No.
Flareon.
Yeah, like you said, the flame screen attack is deceptively strong at this power level for sure. I know I found myself struggling to kind of get past this 100 plus HP Flareon, especially if they started throwing out flare screens.
It is a rule to this cube, so most of the time EXs are worth 2 prizes. Special to this cube, lowercase EXs are not, because I found that they match the power level pretty well. They're only worth 1 prize. How
Looking for a card. I wonder what. Oh, no.
okay, so Hal did pass, and it is
Uh-huh. I wonder if they are going to have to Mallow and just slow play this. That's not what you want to see, but
they really just need to draw the torch. One
yeah,
Torchic in
it's
this
true.
round. Although things are about to get really difficult with this fast call. So fast call says once during your turn, search your deck for a supporter card, show it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. Mikey has a huge toolbox of support in every situation.
He has what he needs. This is, the beginning of the end here if he's able to kind of loop these supporters correctly. The Porygon 2 is there so that he doesn't have to use his supportive return unless he absolutely needs to. But, he still needs to get set up. He isn't attacking or anything like that. Hal still has time, but this is definitely not a great look for Hal, especially given their hand.
Nail has indicated that they are using the Staraptor's fast calls. They could grab a Delinquent, put down the training court, and make Hal discard cards, or they could just keep drawing cards. But I think at this point, Mikey is ahead enough on board that they just want to start hitting.
Mhm. Free retreat on the fast call Straptor, if memory serves. Yes, so free retreat
Ooh.
there, absolutely busted, able to just go right into the one of the Riolus and start attacking with beatdown.
Mikey got both level X's. So
Yep.
strong. So if they get to retreat and pull out a Lucario for a beatdown this turn, that's only 40 damage. But if they hit a strong energy, that might be what they're looking for right now with their fast
Yeah.
call on the Staraptor. They're also probably checking their prizes, but I don't think they have no strong supporters in their prizes. So if they just pick up a good draw support or a way, because this support, like, they want to reset they want to keep drawing cards here. Let me take a look
Mhm.
and see. Oh, he picked up the Guzma. He is going.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm surprised at the Guzma.
Me
Uh,
too. I guess he just wants to is he gonna start damaging the Flareon here? Is that the play?
could
Hmm.
be.
Or maybe he's just grabbing the goose? No, he would not grab it unless he was planning on playing it, I think. Yeah. This
He
is
might Guzma and Rachi, so he's all right. Free retreating the
ah,
Staraptor. Okay, he Guzma-ing out his Riolu.
yes.
Just start hitting.
Fair enough, he wants to get started before Hal gets the setup kind of going here, which that does make sense.
So 110 HP with a beatdown for 40. Played the Plumeria, so he's going down to
Ooh,
0 cards.
with the fast call, I guess he knows he's got the ability to get back. cards next turn, but
And compared to Hal, Mikey doesn't have a way to accelerate energies out. He just has to play one every
mhm.
turn. Hal has cards like Welder, which they have in the hand, Blacksmith, and lots of Blazikins. Just keep accelerating the energies out.
Was that the Fire Crystal draw off the top of the deck from Hal? That's huge.
Oh yeah, Fire Crystal lets them pick up the energies to Blacksmith. Blacksmith was really important here because they want to try and heat tackle now. So
This
heat
is
tackle
big.
for 70, 10 to itself, puts it up to 40. So Flareon is winning this race right now. And if Hal manages to take out the Lucario against Mikey's empty hand, Mikey does have the fast call, which is effectively a Professor Juniper here.
Yeah, exactly.
They get
I
to reset
think
their hand. Let's see.
how did they get the Torchic here? Also off the Welder.
Welder.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
nice. That
Welder picked
Torchic
up
is
a
massive, like
Torchic.
you said, right? Yeah, that's huge. Huge.
Torchic's
That's all she
really
wanted.
important. Because Hal can but this is not, they might grab a different Blaziken.
That's
Just
right. Yeah.
yeah. Because this is an attacking Blaziken. Blaziken is also their main way to keep fire energies coming out. A lot of attacks out of Hal's deck that require discarding energies. Also why burning energy is so pick it up.
Yep. This Blaziken definitely has its uses. The extra damage is pretty big. You can burn an enemy here. They have another Blaziken, the level up, I believe, that does more damage if the opponent is burned. That can be big. But Hal definitely just wants the fire starter, wants to find that fire starter somewhere.
They've got Hal has two fire starter Blaziken. One regular Blaziken and one Blaziken EX. And the Blaziken EX is just a regular Blaziken. And that's for sniping. So 100 is cap on most of Hal's Pokemon. They do have an Arcanine that deals 120. A little bit of sniping ability. All right, so they picked up Cynthia and Caitlin off that fast call. Mikey saying Cynthia and Caitlin, they're going to pitch that Rioli, draw 3 cards, and they might pick up the Goose. Yep. There
Going
would have
for
been
the
solid
Torchic
too.
here.
Oh, that's so mean. What's the Torchic?
Oh, 40 HP?
Yeah. They're looking to
Yep.
just draw another energy and start powering up another Pokemon. So as you can see, Nail's engine here is all support based. So like Staraptor Fast Call plus Porygon's download lets him play a different or a second supporter each turn. They're not running out of cards this game. But their attacks are not nearly as scary as Hal's gets.
Is this double heads on the timer ball? Huge.
Ooh. Double heads on the tire ball picks up 2 evolutions.
Are we gonna see so level X not counting as an evolution here, correct? So it has to be just Lucario and then
That
that's it.
is correct. So they can grab a Lucario and then just another fodder card, maybe,
Mhm.
or
Just to thin the deck a little.
yeah, they can maybe pick up the Plumeria next turn. But Nail doesn't want to miss energies. Nail will do everything they can for the rest of this game to play their energies. It's funny, like neither player did what I expected them to do last turn.
Yeah. They've got a different plan in mind here. The Guzma play is definitely paying dividends now that they are able to kind of snipe off this Torchic if that ends up being their plan here. That would really
Mikey's
set Hal back.
one funny thing is that Hal's a lot more resilient to a lot of Mikey's late game plays than most of us were.
Mhm.
Like Plumeria and Linquent both hurt Hal, but Hal has so much energy recursion. After that energy recursion, a lot of Pokemon recursion. Case in point, Hal just drew a Blacksmith for the which as soon as they get an attacker out, Blacksmith will immediately turn that attacker on.
Really unfortunate that we didn't get to see, and from Hal's perspective here, we lost the Torchic. We're not able to rare candy into the Blaziken, albeit this Blaziken not the one of choice. Still a crushing loss there. Uh,
I
Looks
mean,
like Nail goes up one prize.
with that Blacksmith, if Hal gets the Blaziken out, Blacksmith for 2 energies plus an energy from hand is 100 from nowhere.
Yep, that's massive. We'll have to discard the 2 energy with Fire Spin on that Blaziken, so they would need to quickly, as soon as possible, find some recovery. But definitely, I mean, that can neuter one of these attackers on Nail's side.
But mathematically, if they get to one-shot this Lucario with the Blaziken's Fire Spin, second Lucario will take a whole 3 turns before they can actually deal with it. They have 3
Hmm,
turns to get that 100 damage up again, and 100 damage is enough to one-shot just about every Pokemon in Nail's deck.
100%.
I actually don't know that Nail has anything other than Lucario level X that can survive that hit. Prizes. Lucario X level X barely survives that hit.
With 110, right?
Yep.
And that means Arcanine's also going to be OHKOing if Arcanine never hits the table. But
That's true. Arcanine hits for 120, and it's a surprise attacker. Hal just
mhm.
needs the basics. This is a big
I wonder.
Mallow. The Mallow
Yeah, what do you think they're mollowing for here?
ought to be a basic.
For sure. Would it
Maybe
be
a
two basics?
Ditto. I think it's a basic and something to draw basics. So
Right.
Hal had it might even be like an Eek Clefairy.
Oh, yeah.
Mikey has to keep taking prizes. If Mike like even if Hal's down to 2 prizes, if Hal gets set up with when Mikey has 2 prizes left and Hal has 6,
Mhm.
they'll come back.
Yep. They have the ability to, with such high HP on their Pokemon, they can kind of discard energy to retreat without a thought. They can fire starter all the energy back and kind of play around. The Guzma in the discard this early is still a threat from Nail's side because they have the ability to bring it back with Cynthia and Caitlin and Palpad, like we had said earlier.
I mean,
That
so
is kind of still a threat, but at least they've used it a few times already.
that's true, but if Hal like Mikey knows what support is our prize right now. They can go
Oh
get
yeah.
Cynthia and Caitlyn next turn, pick up Guzma, and play Guzma in the same turn using Porygon 2. Then all they have to do is draw one Pal Pad, and that Pal Pad shuffles both Cynthia and Caitlyn's back in. Ain't going.
Honestly disgusting. Yep.
Yeah. Mikey has a totally different late game plan than most. Like most of us
Mhm.
just want to get our Pokemon powered up, but Mikey gets his Pokemon powered up in the first 2 turns and then just supports the rest of the game.
Control. Yeah, the control strategy that definitely works here. Somehow, honestly, both of these players had a pretty amazing drafts. I feel like both decks are, top tier. We have a lot of great support mons on both sides, but definitely very different game plans, which is cool to see.
There's Mikey using that fast call and Staraptor. Probably grabbing either Cynthia and Caitlyn, but it could just be a draw spell. Linquent would though Linquent would work, but how would get to Volkner's philosophy and just pick the hand back up? See how
Mhm.
much Mikey knows about Hal's deck.
Right. I wonder if Mikey sees the sort of the lack of things going on Hal's side and is going to choose to wait to delinquent until they've refreshed their hand.
Mikey
We'll
really
see.
wants to get energies on these Lucario right now. Probably going for
Exactly.
some card draw because they have the Versus Seeker, Guzma. They can just keep sniping basics.
Yep.
Although if Hal figures out that Versus Seeker is the goal, they get a basic down, then
Ooh.
and Hala. So that lets them.
Ooh. The strong energy gonna hit the table here.
Oh, strong energy's big
Uh-oh.
right now. Strong
Yep.
energy for 60. Although it's a kind of risky to put the strong energy on the active Lucario.
It is. Might be better on the one on the bench just to have that threat.
Yeah, because a bench Lucario with the strong energy hits for 70 plus 20 to a bench Pokemon. So if Mikey just beats down this turn for 40, then they put Flareon only 2 shots away. So
Hmm.
Mikey might even get to strong energy on the bench, and then after one flame screen from Hal, uh, versus Seeker back to Guzma to pull up Spiritomb, and that turns off Hal's rare candy and puts them 2 shots from 2 prizes.
Ooh, I didn't think about the turning off of the rare candy because of the Spirit Tomb. That could be important as well if Hal has no way to get it out of the active.
This is fascinating because this is both of them playing around hidden cards. Like Spiritomb turns off more than the person playing Spiritomb will usually realize.
Hmm.
That's hidden information. The rare candy and versus Seeker are both hidden information.
Yep.
See how much they can predict. So
They
in
did find the
uh
strong. Okay, yeah, did hit the bench just as you had predicted here.
in other games we call this tempo. Oh, but they're bringing out the Aura Sphere to attack right now.
Ooh, That is a different tempo play. They want to get the attacks off as soon as humanly possible. And this is a knockout, right? Or did they use Flame Screen last
They
turn?
use Flame Screen. This
Ooh.
is 30 damage or 50 damage.
And then 20 to the Spiritomb. I wonder if.
Firing back some energies.
Okay, yeah.
Mikey does have, compared to Hal, Mikey has a finite amount of gas. Like they have a Pal Pad, they have Cynthia and Caitlyn, they have Versus Seekers, but that runs out. And they're using
It
all
does.
like their gas is supporters in deck. Hal is more of a deck that plays from board. So Mikey needs to keep disrupting them and hit hard if they're gonna win this one.
Yep.
But
But at this, yeah, it looks like that game plan is running here. I feel like Mikey has Hal on the ropes in terms of like, look at this board. The setup
yeah,
is here. Hal, lost that Torchic early, which was the biggest thing. So now, they are really on the ropes.
this is Mikey's perfect setup. If Mikey gets one more energy down, so Mikey did use Forest here for 50, 50 to the Flareon, 20 to the Bench Spiritomb. It was 70 minus 20 from. But next turn they get to put down Lucario level X and dance if they want to make sure they live. But Flareon can't attack this turn. Flareon attacks Lucario. It takes 20 damage in retaliation. Oh, but Hal got twins off Mallow. That was prescient.
Yep, I almost said off the top, but no, no. This is a planned play. The Malo last turn allowed the Twins to be there. Smart play all around here.
Yeah, they knew that they needed something now. Because
Hmm.
Mikey can one shot any basic with that Guzma. And we know that, like Hal knows that the Guzma. So Hal needs to put down two basics this turn. Two basics that can turn into Blaziken this.
Yeah. Ooh, so they run 4 Torchic total. In the prizes, there's no Torchic, it's just the Growlithe like we had said. So certainly they could grab 2 Torchic here. Almost feels like that would be the play. But do
Hal's
they
in
have
this off
further?
that twins.
Yeah,
Wow.
yep, double Torchic, there it is. They still have the Volkner's Philosophy in hand to refresh after they kind of get this play rolling. Yeah, this is big.
Hal puts this Blaziken down. They one shot it. They one shot the Lucario, and Mikey has to set up again from scratch.
Oof.
Like Mikey's setup is perfect. He has everything he wants to have out right now. All of his evolutions. Got the Lucario in hand and the third energy. But like this is the limit. This is the
Right.
upper limit of Mikey's setup.
It's true, and if these 2 energy on the board leaving is huge. If, like you said, we were able to see a one shot here. They do attach to the
Oh,
Flareon. Are they looking to go out on their own terms here? Oh, it does 10 damage to itself only, right?
well, but the reflexive retaliation off
Reflexive.
Lucario. That's clever.
Yes.
So they hit for big hit, and they get to put out the Spiritomb to turn off Mikey's
Ah,
trainers.
wow.
So
Really
yeah,
only
you're
going
right.
down
That
on their
was
own
on their
terms.
own turns.
Wow. And that is definitely a 5-head big brain play here. Hopefully disrupting either
It's
gonna
risky.
force another Guzma out from Michael, right?
And you hop in the other chat and make sure that Mikey knows to draw a prize.
Yes, I can.
Thank
He
you.
did.
Okay, great. He got it. He got it.
He just knows. He heard us.
He's using Staraptor.
Another fast call.
That's the kind of thing that it's useful to have us for because it is so hard to rewind to forgetting a prize draw, but it's something that
Yep.
all of us do. When I used to run Pokemon leagues, that was one of the worst feel bad things that would happen was having to tell a kid, "Sorry, you played two supporters. We can't rewind. You're going to have to
Yeah,
concede here."
and that's it. You hate to see the lost game state where unrecoverable situations like that or it feels bad, but it definitely teaches you to, kind of play a little more carefully.
Watch your supporters, watch your prizes. Don't want a game
Yeah.
loss like that.
And then
How
you learn, and then it's harder to make those mistakes. But it's different in online for sure, different than IRL.
Hal is actually the best player from my old Pokemon.
Yeah, Hal has been crushing it, every season. So
Hal
they
beat me
have
in the last
won.
two.
Yeah, oof, a little bit of a salty saltiness here, but it's granted, it's warranted.
Hal loves these engine decks. Like they're willing to
Hmm.
take a hit, set up a strong engine. They've drafted fire and they drafted mono fire twice, and Greninja is what they won with last season.
Yeah, we're talking big, but yeah, stage twos each time. Either having an engine to get your Pokemon onto the bench quickly with the water duplicate situation,
There's the
or in this
Guzma.
case, just the energy, right? The
Cynthia and
Guzma.
Caitlyn out of Mikey, discarding a fighting energy, picking up Guzma. And it looks like they got the Pal Pad. That is the most important. That's the best draw. That's what they
Yep,
needed the most.
huge.
They can't Pal Pad this turn.
That's right. And that's the Guzma, which it looks like it's Guzma for turn here.
They get to pull up their Staraptor, but they can
Oh
only
man,
snipe one Torchic.
that's right.
Okay, so Hal has the Nut Hand, and we are about to find out if Mikey knows.
True. Oof. Though, yeah, even with the yeah, no, this is definitely going to be good for how they'll get out the Blaziken. Big damage is coming in with the Blacksmith, but I guess they will need to somehow get another Torchic there. They're going to Volkners too. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting next turn from Hal.
So there's
Down
a
three
knockout.
prizes though. Yeah,
There's a knockout. Hal drew for turn. They picked up a Cleffa. It's a risky play. It can be sniped, but I guess
mm,
if Mikey's sniping, he's gonna snipe the Spiritomb anyway.
that's true.
All right. There's the Rare Candy to Blaziken. Blaziken is gonna hit hard. They don't even have to. Hal doesn't have to discard their energies to kill this Lucario, and dealing with this strong energy is huge. One turn, 3 energies. Let's
Wow.
go.
One of them being the burning. So it looks like they'll only have to discard the one energy if they do choose to do Fire Spin in the future.
That's true. And Mikey currently does have the Lucario level X. So we're looking at a turn where Mikey sends out Lucario level X, sends out Lucario. Lucario level X is to prevent the damage. And we'll see how they handle the play after that.
Scoop up a good prize pickup here from Hal.
That's true. They get to stop, like, they can either just retreat or they can pick up their Spiritomb to prevent Mikey from drawing in another sniping prize.
That's big. Because the Lucario that just hit the discard was the sniping one.
We know that Mikey has one more Aura Sphere Lucario. Their beatdown Lucario is already out. And here comes fast call, but they didn't Pal Pad first, and they're not picking up Cynthia and Caitlyn.
Hmm. I think there's two Cynthia and Caitlyn in the deck, so they do still have one available to them.
Oh, did they VS Seeker back the other one? They did. All right, so let's take a quick look while he's doing that. I'm gonna switch the scene for just a moment so we can look at. So his supporters left. Got two Rockets admin, which plays like N,
Hmm.
Trevor, and Winona. Winona's unlikely, but he might pick up a Trevor or an Ellen's training method to keep his Riolu coming. But most of them are gone. It's Delinquent,
It's true.
Karina. So he's looking to Pal Pad first. All right, so he grabbed Karina.
And is it the comp search off of the Karina here?
Yep, he gets a fighting Pokemon and an item off that Karina. Hal must
Big.
know that Mikey has both level X's because he didn't grab the second Lucario level X off the Karina.
Hmm.
So
And we see it.
Stance is incredibly powerful here. When can't take damage for one turn, but he still gets to beat down 40. Means that close combat is going to be lethal next turn. So Hal needs to pick up something now that attacks. And if they get it, they're still in this.
It's
Saltava
true.
can, yeah, they can pick up that, but they need it. Like they need either that or I don't know that Hal runs any ways to swap Lucario out so they can still draw a prize this turn.
Right. No, yeah, this is they're gonna need to draw something huge here, off of the Volkners, but
Hal doesn't have any gust of wind effects.
oh my god, the delinquent play here. Absolutely gross. to the no
The
card
pitch, the
hands
rest of
now.
the hand. Oh boy.
This is
Hal is
bringing
ready
back
to.
memories.
So Hal needs to draw a supporter
Oh,
now. But that's a collector. That's a good draw.
not bad at all. Not bad at all. And they still have the Eek,
That's true. Are they
possibility
gonna
here in the future.
getting the one scoop up and the Vulcan's philosophy hurts a lot, but Pokemon Collector is a draw.
Yeah,
Like they
could
could
have been
have,
a lot worse here.
yeah, they could have dead drawn. Would have been a lot less fun.
The retreat into the Eek. Okay, we do see it.
I think we're gonna need a good reading of this attack name when it happens.
You're right. You're right.
No weakness.
I cannot believe that this card was printed. No retreat. The ability is absolutely insane. As long as Clef is asleep, prevent all damage done to
Oh
Clef
wow.
by attacks.
I totally forgot how it could pick up a Lapras with a collector, so they may not even eke.
Ooh, oh yeah, they have the Lapras. Oh my god. Collector being extremely strong.
Collector was about as like I was still in this without the collector. Looks like they decided to put the Lapras away. Fortunately, Cleffa did wake up, so that's surprise.
Hmm.
Mikey's looking to Aura Sphere for 2 prizes this turn, so Hal needed.
We see the Growlithe hit the bench. That is the only Growlithe available to Hal at the moment. Other two are prized. They have the Arcanine in hand.
That
Still
Arcanine.
no Firestarter, Blaziken in sight, but they do have a draw. The Engineer's Adjustments is big draw next turn.
Hal only has 1 rare candy.
That's correct. Only the one.
Hey, Hal's got a hole to climb out of. Mikey is set up.
Combuskin. Mhm. Yep, here it comes. The Guzma is once again here.
Mikey can either shoot that Blaziken or try and double Aura Sphere, like Aura Sphere for the double knock. They get to Aura Sphere. All they need to do is fighting energy. Yeah, so they can Lucario, fighting energy on Aura Sphere Lucario and go for the double knockout.
Mhm.
I don't think they can't kill the Blaziken with the Aura Sphere without.
That's right. Would they throw the damage do you think they would throw the damage on Spiritomb right now and just take that prize? Go 1 prize up?
I don't.
Or 1 prize away from the win?
It
Maybe?
really depends on how well Mikey knows.
Right.
If I were Mikey and this were my first time playing and I saw that I got to delinquent away their scoop up, I'd be ecstatic. And I would assume that that was it for scoop ups because you don't really run too many scoop ups in a deck so full of stage 2. But Hal
True.
has that Jirachi and that Lapras. They get a lot of extra value out of this extra. Hal's outs right now are played a perfect flip. I need to flip heads over and over again. Have a shot.
True.
Which sometimes that's all you can do. Nothing you can play. But Hal might just scoop here. 2 prizes.
Yep, this isn't looking great. Once this Blaziken goes down, there's no more rare candies. We're not gonna see that play like we saw earlier with the kind of 0 to 100, Torchic to a 3 energy Blaziken play. Those plays are pretty much gone.
Mikey's got the stance down actions. They did
There's the
snipe the
stance.
Spiritomb. And
Okay.
they're looking to take the win next turn if they can pick up another. They did Palpad back the Cynthia. Next turn they can fast call for Cynthia and Kalen, pick up Guzma, Porygon, and take 2 prizes off the Cleffa Blaziken. Because the Blaziken only has 10 HP left. 20 HP left.
Mhm. I think that's definitely where Michael's head is at right now, and that play, there's no sign of that play being stopped at this time.
1 sign.
Ooh,
No! Big coin flip from Super Scoop Up. Comes
big mess.
out as a Tails. Unfortunate.
Yeah, I think we would have seen that. I guess on the Blaziken almost.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
got to be
maybe.
Blaziken. It's got to be
Yeah.
one of the Pokemon that die to the Aura Sphere. Um,
Yep.
which is just it could have been the Cleffa. Could have picked up the Cleffa to leave Blaziken out. I don't know what would have been better.
Of course, there's the Arcanine. There's the Firestarter Blaziken. Many turns too late. No energy in hand.
Stone Generator would have been fun. Pick up all the evolution.
Oh, it really would have. Ooh,
But picking up the Lucarios, like letting the Lucarios reuse their stance ability, sorry, stance Poke Power would have been devastating.
it would have. Ooh, so does that remove stance? It. Hmm.
Lucario during your opponent's next turn. I don't think it does.
Yeah, so that the Lucario would still be immune to damage, even though the level X got removed.
So if you were to evolve Lucario level X to and use stance and then Ray, it would. I don't see why an
Right.
opponent's devolution would otherwise.
That's
But I
yeah.
don't think it matters right now.
Nope, not relevant in this game.
Mikey's speed was just a little too high here. If Hal had started on a Torchic, in addition to the Eevee, if Hal started had been
Yep.
Spiritomb, Torchic, and Eevee, Hal would have had it.
100%. Similarly, the Ditto start from Michael was absolutely key. They had the single Porygon in the deck was prized early, right? So they
Yeah,
would not have had any other chance to get the Porygon 2 out. And the Porygon 2 allowed this, kind of setup to happen.
yeah. The Porygon 2 is important because it's what lets them, like with Staraptor plus Porygon, Staraptor alone lets you Cynthia and Caitlyn over and over and again.
Yep.
But you can't play both in a turn, so it's twice as many turns without the Porygon. Oh, here's a great play from Hal. Hal brought out the Cleffa. They are going for the coin flip. They need to flip tails. Cleffa death.
Usually not what you want in the Pokemon trading card game, but
And this is a great play because if they flip tails to stay asleep and use that sweet stop Mario from beating the Cleffa to death,
yeah.
Mikey can't his Staraptor's fast call and download to Cynthia and Kaylin and Guzma because Cleffa is what they need active to that Aura Sphere.
Fire Breath burns the active. Okay.
Okay, there's the flip. Oh,
All
but
right.
wait, why was. Oh, why are they burned? Because of fire breath. Okay.
Yes. Looks like yeah, the Lucario's burned. They've got the tag there.
Yeah, unfortunately, the burn doesn't. So we are in this era playing by Diamond Pearl Platinum rules, which means that status effects do turn off abilities.
There's the scoop. Yeah, you predicted it
All right,
well.
we're going to game 2, and while that is getting ready, we have a little something from Seth. Gonna play a little bit of trivia after this.
Well, nice.
Welcome
Should I
to the
let them know
season
that
4
we're
of the
doing the trivia here?
Yeah. Go let them know. Tell them to wait 2.5 minutes. Do that 2.5 minutes if we go to game 3 afterwards.
Pokemon TCG draft. We have a returning champion as well as a very familiar player in the ring tonight. And hopefully we are going into our game 3. Otherwise, it may or may not already be over. In which case,
they
please
said let them
take
know
this
right
time
when they're
to
ready to
enjoy
go.
the
They're going to do their
trivia.
starting mulligans.
You will
and all that
find
good
it's a
stuff.
bit of a more drastic short form of it, as I was very busy playing Switch Sports today. So everyone, please enjoy.
Hi, Bowman.
2.5 minutes. They can.
How many forms of
Oh, they can
unknown
hear me?
exist? Is it A, 13, B, 26, C, 20,
So we shouldn't
or
talk.
D, 28?
I missed that.
The correct answer is D, 28. How many cards are in a pre-release deck as opposed to a
I don't
standard
remember
deck?
this.
Is it A, 40, B, 60, C, 50,
I
or
want to
D,
say 40.
30? The correct answer is A, 40.
Okay, I like
Doing the trivia?
doing some trivia right now.
How many prize
Incredible.
cards does your opponent draw when knocking out your Pokemon EX? That is capital EX. Is it A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, or D, 4?
5 questions. I think it's 10 questions.
Gotcha. I think 40 is correct here.
The correct answer is B,
Let's
2.
go.
Just realized.
Which of the following has an attack that costs no energy? A. Pikachu, B. Alolan Vulpix, C. Cyndaquil, or D. Shaman?
Talking about in the cube here. Pass as well, because there are examples of all of these. Or that's cubers only. Nothing wrong
The
with that.
correct answer is B. Alolan Vulpix.
One more
Happily, yeah,
question.
the two.
The game.
How tall is a typical Caterpie? Is the answer A.
Alolan Vulpix for
half
sure.
a foot, B. a foot, C. 2 feet, or D. a quarter of a foot?
That.
The correct answer is B.
Not know
A foot.
that one. Right, we're gonna go into game 2. Just start from there on the next. Like they're just finishing up resolving Mulligan.
Yep, they said they're ready to go.
All right, let's go.
Cody with the big play here says D for this final question. Is he right? Ooh, Cody. Ooh, they guessed twice and got it wrong both times. Cody. Oof. You absolutely hate to see it. And they're not going to hear that until long after they've failed.
All right, so Hal has their preferred starters minus a Spiritomb. Torchic plus Growlithe. They do have a Blaziken in hand, but it is the Blaziken FB, and that has to evolve from regular Blaziken. It looks like Hal chose to go second. But Mikey's got a solid start. Let's see what else he's got. So Hal is looking to play this Lapras, but they're probably going to see what they get off the Acrobike first.
Sure, Acrobike's a great opening card. So is Quick Ball and Rare Candy. Honestly, they can start setting up that Rare Candy play. Ooh, not as good of a start here on Michael's side. Although they do have the Oak's New Theory.
He gets to reset his hand here after putting down a Lucario, and both of these are pretty solid. Bulk up into Magnum Punch is 110 damage across turns, and that's just tough to deal with in this format.
Yep.
We'll see how Hal handles this.
Michael's prizes aren't the best. With Staraptor prized and Winona, we are seeing some possible difficulties finding the fast call and getting it out as quickly as we saw in game 1.
They do have a second Staraptor FB level X, though. They can
They
get
do.
that and then start picking it up for the second one. I would say Hal has the best late game deck in this queue. So
Mhm.
Hal can stall long enough. They're in great shape.
And house prizes don't look that impactful here. A few energy, never great, but there definitely could be more key pieces that are prized here, and they are not. They have an additional Arcanine EX available.
That's true. They have 2 total Arcanines that they can still hit. Oh, and they picked up a Pokemon collector off the top for a
Incredible.
Spiritomb. Really good.
That's
Getting
the
to go
theme.
second, putting down a Spiritomb is great. If they're willing to throw away their play for the turn to Spiritomb act.
I think that's definitely what I would do. The Darkness Grace would be absolutely huge. You would have to discard Burning Energy, unless you get one off of Acro.
That's true.
Burning Energy, you hate to see that one go. That one definitely can be big. But again, we know that Hal's deck doesn't really struggle regurgitating energy onto the field.
One thing that Mikey's deck has over all of our decks is on turn 2, Nail can kill this Spiritomb at Darkness Grip. I can't do that. A lot of decks can't do that.
No.
But that's just been good enough against a lot of House opponents. Putting a Spiritomb start evolving right now would end me.
Yeah, this is potentially backbreaking. I wonder if they will make that play. Already such a better start here, board wise for Hal.
Hal has all the basics they need this game. They can scoop up that Lapras. They can start putting down their Torchics, get up to Blaziken quickly. Looks like they discarded the Arcanine to the Acrobike and kept the Windstorm. That's interesting.
Mm,
That's not how I would have played that. But Hal knows their deck better than I do.
it's true. So they discarded the Flame Dash Arcanine.
They are looking to get an Arcanine EX down, I guess.
Yeah, looks like it.
We know that they have one left in the deck. That's solid because they had 20 damage on it, and Arcanine EX can start healing. I believe it has 110 HP, 120 HP. If they heal this
Easy.
off, there's not a lot that the Lucario can do to one. Hal's just trying to bring all their Pokemon out of one-shot range right now.
And here comes the Spirit Tomb. As predicted, excellent first play here. Best starter you could have, and we already see the Combuskin hit the mat here.
Did Darkness see what they grab? There's 2 Growlithe down. They don't know that their other Arcanine EX is prized. They haven't had a chance to look at their deck.
Mm. Yeah, we would have seen a quick ball, but they had a full bench. There was no need.
It looks like they're just holding off for now. And a Combuskin come up. Fortunately, we are seeing some sniping already. Oh, so Mikey did go for the new 3 despite having a luxury ball.
I think the luxury only for level X. Is that true?
It's anything. It's the
Oh,
best ball.
anything.
But
Oh
it's
my.
the original A spec. So luxury ball says search your deck for any Pokemon unless you have a luxury ball in your discard pile.
Aha.
Actually, luxury ball might specifically exclude level X. It depends on.
I think it might in this era, but of course they weren't looking for a level X in this
Pokemon
era.
excluding Pokemon level X. Interesting.
They hit 2 Riolus off that pont, which is massive.
Wow. Might be. I was playing the Blaziken deck. Looks like Mikey's on fire. I brought out the Growlithe, which does burn Lucario if it takes a hit. But Mikey has no support. Mikey is pure Lucario right now. He doesn't
Yep.
have all the Lucarios. He doesn't have any energies in the discard pile, so he can stance off Lucario level X. That's it.
Right. This is a strong, attack-based front opening from Michael, but the support is not here. We don't see the Staraptor. We don't see any sort of Porygon or Ditto here. So the long game is not looking great. Meanwhile, Hal is on their way,
Yeah,
but we'll see if they can get something a little stronger here. Their hand a little bit dead.
yeah, but they are trying to resolve a quick ball right now. So they can pick up a
Right.
Jirachi to get a new hand off an
Ah,
N.
the Jirachi.
And this isn't a bad N if that's what they pick up. But the Jirachi's a huge liability because we know Mikey can, Lapras and Jirachi do the same thing. When you put it down, you can search up a supporter. The difference between Jirachi and Lapras is Jirachi is worth 2 prizes, and it gets one shot by Lucario.
Yes, Hal would need to prioritize picking up that Jirachi with one of their scoop ups somewhere in the mid game to stop it from getting snipes. That would be a big priority, I think. Late game, mid game.
I mean, close combat for 80 plus an Aura Sphere will kill the Jirachi, so it will take 2 turns. Mikey doesn't have a lot of 90 damage attack. Mikey has very fast with
Yep.
70.
There is a cap there. Meanwhile, Hal's cap for damage is much higher, but requires much more energy, much more setup.
That burning. Quick ball. I think Hal is trying to decide how risky it is.
Yep. Yep, definitely weighing their options here. But with a hand like we're seeing here, just the Blacksmith, the Rare Candy, and the Windstorm, I feel like it's almost a must.
That's true. They have to get these Blazikens online to have a shot. They have to get the Blazikens online before Mikey can get his. Lucario level X's are huge. Mikey beat me both times before he could play Lucario level X, so I didn't even get to see it.
Oh my. Oh well, he had the donk situation on you, the double
Yeah.
donk, which is
Meanwhile,
just tough.
I was too slow for Mikey and not fast enough for Hal. So
Yep.
Hal beat me, but it took like 2 hours.
Yeah, that damn.
They did Jirachi. What are they grabbing with the Jirachi?
It looks like they
They
grab.
scooped up the Growlithe instead of Jirachi. stop a prize. Look like but they played down a Blaziken.
Yeah, where did we get the Blaziken here? I'm looking at the
Okay,
the
how
twins.
okay, how got a twins with the draw? They
Perfect.
pulled the
Grab the
cards out while
Blaziken.
they were in. Okay.
Perfect, perfect. That makes a lot more sense. We were
Got
out of the loop a
Blaziken
little bit
scoop
there,
up.
which
Twins
is
is
quite
really
the play.
like how built their deck around losing a prize before whether off of Spiritomb or whether off of Cleffa before
Yeah,
they are planning to start down a prize most games.
this is all according to plan so far. Excellent setup.
I once had a player cheat within the rules. My twin on nationals.
Whoa, cheat within the rules.
Yeah, so it was best of one, only 30 minutes. Okay,
Right.
sorry. Mikey picked up a fighting energy. Like they are just gonna try and close combat to one shot that Lapras. So they got to the table, and then instead of sitting down to play, they said, "I'm just gonna hang out here." And that way, so they waited, and then because they were late to the table, even though they were right there and refusing to sit down, I had to start the game with some prizes in hand. So I was a
Oh,
twins
wow.
dependent deck, and they took a prize penalty to keep playing the twins.
They knew that?
They knew because I was on the only Mew box that was live for day
Right.
2, and Mew box
Wow.
didn't take prizes, and that's not a play I ever expected.
That
Like,
is a shady play and a no fun zone play. Nothing I
yes,
would ever respect.
yeah,
Does it get the
like
dub? Yes, but would they feel good about it? No. And if
I
they
mean,
did,
they day 2'd, so like
mm,
whatever else you think, it worked.
karma will catch up with them. Confirmed.
We'll
So
see.
are we
I
going to see the Lapras knockout here?
uh
No. The
no,
Aura
he did
Sphere.
pitch a fighting energy, but we'll see how bad. Like Mikey can get the knockout here. They put down the training court, pick up a fighting energy, and close combat for 80. But do they want to?
Right.
How stuck with that Lapras out there? Mikey's
Ooh,
looking to
yep.
set up a little. Also,
The
Hal
dual ball,
uses
huge.
like this turn, Mikey can pick up the fighting energy, but generally speaking, Hal will use that training court so much better than
That is 100% true as well. He probably wants to avoid putting that training court down if at all possible. The Trevor and the dual ball here are absolutely massive. We see the Porygon, we see the Staraptor. Now the engine begins to turn here on Michael's side.
is using the training court. Hal doesn't have any targets right now. So I guess that Mikey's counting on being able to stir after level X to pick up that Linkwins to get rid of or Hal gets to use it. Hal's
Ooh,
set up. Hal has their Blaziken. They just don't have the fire energies.
yep, and the burning energy won't count.
Oh, they went with the Aura Sphere though. That Mikey is holding on to that Lucario level X for now.
A little bit of spread, and this is, this is a good time to spread from Michael's kind of point of view here. There's no energy on the table. Certainly, the threat isn't there, so why not spread a little bit of damage, soften up these big HP Pokemon?
Hal picked up an Engineer's Adjustments. Even with the training court out, is tragic when they are a base fire energy.
That is truly tragic. This is a no plays hand. Absolutely nothing to be done.
That's really unfortunate. Fire energy and Hal is in this game. Without that, Mikey's looking to pick up a couple prizes and just that snipe damage from the Aura Sphere until they have to stance.
Yeah, is
Mario
this a
level X.
true pass here? I don't think there is literally any play that can be made from Hal's side.
Fire starter? Not. Alright, they did just pass.
Okay.
Mikey took his knockout. Hal drew a Mallow for the turn. They might just pick up 2 fire energies here.
Yep. Oof. Wow. So slow here. Oh, lucky. Yeah, that is really unfortunate just in terms of, the tempo lost from that play is huge. Without any energy to work with, Hal has really slowed down, has to wait an entire another turn, may get the burn off here.
I was looking good this game. Now, missing
Yep.
those 2 energies, Mikey back in this game. Two pretty extreme. Mikey
Yep.
can pick Karina this turn to pick up an item, correct? Item card
Yes.
and a fighting Pokemon. The existence of computer search lets that card in the deck. Picking up a Staraptor FB here is going to become insurmountable pretty much right away. Like they're probably just Mikey is probably just going to computer search and grab fighting Pokemon discard.
Yeah, this is big. Michael's gonna kind of craft the perfect turn here between his access to computer search as well as the Burst Seeker in hand in case he wanted to. He has the opportunity to Trevor into Porygon 2 or the Staraptor level X, but I don't think he'll even need it. It depends. The ball is definitely in his core right now.
How got with that Mallow? Gets
That
him
is
out
a
of
good
this.
question. I think it has to be one fire energy. They will immediately engineers adjustments that fire energy away. But what was the next card put there?
It
Maybe another
might both
fire.
be fire. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah,
That lets
because I
them
think you need
play.
energy, right?
Yeah, but they can fire energy and play a fire and maybe even set up a blacksmith turn next turn. Wow.
Yeah,
Hal is actually still in this. Those stances are going to hurt a lot. Like,
they
this
are.
game is just can Hal get set up enough? Whether the stances.
Yeah, to string enough attacks that, one or two stances is not enough to kind of break the game open.
Stances by Holt. Mikey gets 2 per
Okay,
fire energy.
the burn is there. Took the 20 from burn. Did Michael take a prize?
Investments with big. Fire starter. How close is that Blaziken to death?
They did take.
One Aura Sphere away from death.
Oof, yeah, only 20 left here on the fire starter. Exactly. And Michael's got the another Aura Sphere in the back.
But he
There's no
needs
way
that
to get it off the
energy.
table. He does. And he doesn't have it in hand.
Training cord out.
Out the training court. Clef comes up. Has to.
Save their Blaziken.
And the heads. Hate to see that
Running hot
happen.
today.
He really is.
Think
Is the
how
this
needed
two
a
price? Yeah.
into rare candy or better draw.
This is certainly a two prize turn here. Going down to just a single prize is, I don't think there's any coming back from that.
Like Mikey can put multiple prizes into every.
Rescue stretchers there. We could flame dash. No, but that does 40 damage to itself. That wouldn't be.
Oof. I don't see how Mikey takes it or how Hal takes it. Sorry, Hal.
Yeah. Yeah. Checking out the discard pile here. The options are very limited.
Got that
Oh.
lightning fast fighting deck.
Yeah, we needed more fire energy to hit the discard earlier somehow, but there was really no way to do that.
Guess it's not over yet.
Brings
out
out
the
the Staraptor.
Put out the Staraptor to just so that he could level it up by grabbing a Guma. Particularly cruel. Might be going for the 1-2 punch on the Jirachi. I do think would be a mistake because it gives Hal an out. Hal the out of scoop up.
That's
Super
true.
scoop up.
It might even be better or the more optimal play, possibly just knocking out this Growlithe or the Torchic in addition to the Blaziken?
Yeah, double Torchic knockout. That's a great play. Training Court
Yep,
picks up the fighting energy. Aura Sphere hits Torchic for 50. Yep. Blaziken for 20, and that is a double knockout.
huge. Michael knows that the main attackers in this deck are centered around, Blaziken or using Blaziken or Blaziken FB, level up. Not gonna have any of that.
How does get to one-shot Lucario right back? Have the they have the Arcanine EX. See Hal pulls this out. Rooting for Hal just because they're down 6 prizes to 1.
Oh yeah, this would be an incredible comeback. I don't see how, but I would love to be shown.
So here's how they do it. Arcanine
Okay.
EX comes down.
Mhm.
They need to get another fire energy into their discard pile somehow so that
That's
they
right.
can blacksmith both fire energies onto the Arcanine. That heals 20 damage off of it. And then they can just keep putting fire energies onto Arcanine for the rest of the game. Because that fire remedy will keep healing it.
Okay, that makes
Um,
sense.
But they need a lot of things need to go just right because Mikey's Staraptor Porygon 2 mean that he can just keep Guzmaing. So in addition to that, Hal also needs to pick up the rest of their bench. Only got the one super scoop up.
Yes. This
So
is
they can evolve the Eevee out of it. They can super scoop up the Cleffa, and then Jirachi EX cannot be one-shot currently.
we're checking out the cards here. Looks like they're calling it.
That was too bad. It was really
That
close. We're
Hal
gonna
played
hop.
to their outs. It was, there was not
Yeah.
much that could have been done there. The Spiritomb play was great, but the energies weren't there in the mid game.
We're gonna finish up these trivia questions that Seth so elegantly put together, and then we're gonna go talk to the winners. You wouldn't mind going to tell them that I'd like to talk to both of them. Just play these trivia questions, and we'll be there in 2.5 minutes.
All right, sounds good. See you there.
Which card has the most hit points? Is it A, Shadow Lugia promo, Wailord and Magikarp tag team, or the Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, which is technically a promo? The correct answer is D, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune with a whopping 500 hit points. Which is considered the Water Queen? A, Manaphy, B, Goldeen, C, Vaporeon, or D, Staryu? The correct answer is B, Goldeen. Which of the following is not a supporter card? A, Bill's Maintenance, B, Cynthia, C, Trainer's Mail, or D, Welder? The correct answer is C, Trainer's Mail. How many Nido Pokemon are there? A, 4, B, 6, C, 8, or D, 5? The correct answer is B, 6. What is the highest retreat cost for a Pokemon? A, 4, B, 6, C, 8, or D,
I do not know this
5?
one. I want to say 5.
The correct answer
Yeah.
is D, 5.
It's a good trivia question. Thanks, Seth. All right, we're
All
gonna
right,
go
everyone,
have.
thanks for playing season 4 of the Trivia Halftime Show. Hopefully we're going into game 3, and if not, everybody have a great rest of your evening.
Okay, so we're gonna hop into the channel and bit of discussion. I'm just gonna have their decks up so that we can look at the cards that we're talking about.
You know, you saw the response. I was, hey,
So Hal?
Bowman.
Hey, Mikey! Congratulations! You
They just had to
are
leave. Thanks.
you are the season 4 Pokemon Cube champion. Congratulations!
Congrats.
Good job.
Thanks. I finally made it.
You did it.
Hi, Mom.
Hi,
I-
Mom.
Historically, you spoil my Actually, both of you have. I lost to Bowman in the finals, and then Bowman knocked me out, and then Ian knocked me out last season.
Yeah, that's true. That first season, I was only able to do it because I played against you so much. But this season, you were just so fast. When did you decide you wanted to be a speed Lucario deck?
Well, actually, we were just talking with Hal and Ian. I do think Lucario. That's like one of my options. Is that it's fast and it's a very energy efficient attacker. But but the bread and butter is my support Pokemon. So I normally prioritize getting Staraptor and Porygon out and figure I can just pick the cards I need to win any situation. And that did not work at all against Hal when we played in the regular season. The game that I slow played and played to my board state, Hal set up, and their board state is just stronger because their Pokemon hit for so much harder and have very high HP and don't care if I discard their energy. So I decided to, and I got lucky starting hands that allowed me to follow the decision to attack fast, early, and often.
Well, that's true, but Hal had great hands too. And you had some excellent timing. Like there in that game 1, Delinquent is not usually great, but that Delinquent in game 1 hitting their Scoop Up and their Volkner's Philosophy.
Oh yeah. That's the Delinquent has been like I almost made my portrait on the death list Delinquent. It's been one of the MVPs. I think Ian was one of the victims of the double Delinquent in one turn.
Oh yes, double. Yeah. The next turn we another double. It brought back some bad memories, but it is an excellent play each time. You can't help but respect it.
Yeah, it's such a fun card, disrespectful card, and I have the Guzma and Hala to search a stadium, and then computer search off Karina is my other search a stadium option. But yeah, I had some frustrated opponents when I was dealing out delinquents. Combined with Secret Mission too. Secret Mission can check to see if they have things that are worth discarding.
Ooh,
so
yeah.
it's a cute little play.
I mean, your attackers are pretty low cost and low maintenance, and they don't hit as hard as some other people's. That doesn't matter if they can't put them out.
Yeah, they're so efficient. And so I drafted the support Pokemon first, and in the first pack, I got a speculative strong energy. So I was like, if fighting things do come around, I can do that. I feel like that's the strongest special energy. And I was drafting Staraptors and Porygons. And then I got hate drafted. I got a last pick passed to me. I believe it was this bulk up Lucario. And I'm like, oh, okay. If nobody's going for that, I feel like that bulk up Lucario is kind of broken in terms of efficiency.
Ooh.
That made me decide to pair fighting with the colorless support Pokemon.
Self-contained one energy attackers really like, and you picked up a lot of supporters. We can see where your early picks were spent.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like honestly, it was I think both Sinlins were in the last 2 packs, and they just got past me. And I was like, I can't not take these first pick because of how good they make my deck. And then I didn't even consider while drafting the potential of buying the Guzma, because I even said when we were setting up the draft, yeah, I put this luxury section in, but I think they're a bait. Probably some dummies will shop from them, but really you should buy consistency cards. And with the opportunity to use Guzma more than once, it seemed like a no-brainer. Otherwise, I would have got some other good supporters.
And Guzma won you this match, right?
Yeah, I mean, it won me a lot. So in the future, if I did that, I might make Guzma cheaper and say it goes to the Lost Zone, or not add such a steep luxury section, because it kind of could feel like a win more situation where those people who have a really good draft can then afford to make their deck better. But we were all afforded the same options, so I don't feel bad about it. But I think it was a fun trial with the shop.
So for those of you who may not have been here for the whole cube, we did have a shop at the end where you could grab a few cards for points. We all had a limited number of points. Mikey, you spent your points on the Guzma. What did it cost?
Yeah. So the Guzma took all 10 coins or points we were awarded, but we were able to get up to 6 purchases, and so I got 1 0 card purchase, which was a Riolu, because I only managed to draft 3 Riolus, one of them in the last pack. So this deck, I was so greedy with my support that I only had 2 Riolus going into the last pack. But yeah, so I got a Riolu and a Guzma, since the Riolu costs 0 coins, as do all the evolving basics for non-colorless types.
Like, Guzma was definitely a busted card in your deck, but I think at 10 points, that was a good purchase and pretty balanced.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. I was going to ask you, I was going to throw up some polls, so that's good to know that feedback. It just feels so oppressive with Fast Call, Palpad, VS Seeker, download. But that was what I was playing to.
All of your points is a fair cost. Were there any supporters you felt like you were missing? You had access to all of them in your deck. I mean,
yeah, I know some that you took. When I started drafting this, the Jirachi was an early pickup for me, and I thought this would be, yeah, it was. I knew it was going to be control heavy, and then I didn't know that I was going to pick up strong attackers with it. Fortunately, they were efficient attackers, but I was really banking on getting a Flare Grunt or a Cyrus's. I got the Plumeria, so some decks I like made opponents frustrated with double Plumeria plays and a lot of Plumerias. Hal can get energy from the discard, so that's a no-brainer. But yeah, Plumeria was my energy discard option, but I would have liked a Flare Grunt or Yell Grunt, and then maybe even a Cyrus's to go with Delinquent. But I guess like when I can search them out, just having one card that gives me a disruption option for 2 different strategies, one to just attack their hand and one to attack their energy, was plenty. But I thought I was missing Flare Grunt at the start.
Anything in your deck that you felt didn't belong there? Dead weight.
No, I really think it was all good. I had 64 cards I really wanted. I had a Mew that would just give me some psychic coverage and could use the attacks of every Pokemon in play. And then I had like a Chip Ice Axe, and even got a 5th Lucario that was really good. The hard cut was Ball Guy. I took that pretty early because I think it's such a strong card. And then I didn't end up buying any balls from the shop because I bought the Guzma. So it seemed like it wasn't worth playing. But the Sparkling Robe and the stadiums are all good just for Delinquent, but I used them all. Like Sparkling Robe and that Island Cave helped me survive some decks that have a lot of good status condition options.
Those were like, got in there underneath most of Hal's play. Those games were actually both very close. There were 2 key moments. That Delinquent, if you hadn't Delinquented there, I actually was going to give it to Hal.
Oh, really?
As a favorite to win. Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy I went and grabbed it.
It was
a great play.
Big.
Whenever I have a turn where I don't like need a supporter and I have an extra fast call, I always just grab Delinquent. And I was much less efficient at the start of the season. I learned pretty quickly, like, no, really, you're always grabbing Cynthia and Caitlyn because it gets you whatever you want plus 3 cards.
Then you got Palpad both Cynthia and so efficient.
Yeah, and then the Clara, I'm never scared of discarding Lucario level X because they're always a Clara away. I did get nervous. I was greedy and didn't level up, and Hal had the rare candy into that Blaziken.
Right. We were so excited for that play.
We were. The hero.
Yeah, that was a little nerve-wracking.
I actually thought Hal would have you after that.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like I'm in such a backseat position when they have a Blaziken up, let alone 2 Blaziken and those Arcanines. Like a lot of strong cards in their deck that I was fearful of that bodied me in the regular season.
There was a moment in game 2 where we were like, oh no, if Hal gets an energy here, then they'll take down Mikey, and they didn't get the energy because they had Engineer's Adjustments in it.
Oh yeah, I felt bad.
Out.
It seemed like there was some rough draws there in that second game.
There were some good ones too. Like those matches, those games were both closer than they looked. Probably from your perspective, just based on what Hal had in hand all the time. Hal was always like a card away. But you got in underneath, and that's Mario's great for.
Yeah, doing my best. The reflexive retaliation is just it gave me like perfect math on the Flareon the first game. I did feel like I got the luckiest N in the world, whatever they end me to.
Oh my god, that was brutal.
I didn't have a good plan, and it felt like I was gonna lose, and then I think I got the best 6 cards I could have possibly got. I forget what they were, but I just remember they were perfect.
No, you played all
That was
6
the
of them.
every evolution, right? Like, we had
Yeah.
every single support card, we had everything we needed there.
Oh yeah, it just like gave me the level
You're-
X and the
Yep.
Porygon and the Lucario. That's right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And Hal had
Yeah.
to do that too. Like it was Hal
Yeah.
needed a new hand, and they unfortunately hit mostly supporters. But like you are so tempo oriented, that one turn was all you needed.
Yeah. And like that's what I'm looking for, those little cracks that I can get ahead in tempo. Sometimes it's with Jirachi if I don't have the stuff set up. I could double Delinquent with Jirachi or double Plumeria, but I didn't have to resort to that. I was able to have my cake and eat it too. I could attack alongside supporter harassment.
This was the best early game versus the best late game. Early game got there. Looks
Yeah.
both
GGs
times.
all around.
It was.
Did you have a hardest pick? Something that stands out for you? Draft portion.
I passed on some of those flare grunts and energy things because I thought they'll come around. People never draft these, and I'm finally gonna. And then Bowman got them. But the most clutch pick and that formed this deck and was a potentially game-winning card in the first game is definitely the strong energy. And I'm no expert. I've just drafted a lot. I feel like a takeaway that we can all grasp onto is that I don't know, one of the ways to set yourself up for potential success is like high yield speculative picks early. So by just taking the strong energy very early, it only is one card but if there's theoretically going to be a best fighting deck in the cube, it will definitely have strong energy in it. I think that's the strongest special energy. So I can take that, and if I don't pick fighting, I only wasted one pick. But if I happen to find my way into a fighting deck, I give myself a chance to have a broken seeming or just super optimal best option of fighting decks. And so that was I took that before I had any fighting Pokemon, and I'm happy that it worked out. I got lucky that people weren't taking Lucario.
I'm going to write that down.
Speculative picks on a type are always going to be a little more likely to come about speculative picks on a family.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more options. There were other fighting Pokemon in here, but yeah, or like there's sometimes I forget what we had last time, that grass stadium that lets you always search out a grass evolution each turn. Again, that just takes one pick, even if you have no grass cards. But if you get into graphs, you have a chance to have the best grass deck because you have this really powerful. Turf Field. There you go.
All of the Black Star stadiums felt like that too.
Oh yeah, those are strong.
Yeah. That was a great event. It was fun to cast and good.
I'm happy you had fun.
I like casting.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good match.
Thanks for doing it. Thanks for hopping in. I'm glad. I was low key sad to miss the casting opportunity, but I was happy that you guys hopped on board. So thanks.
Well, you got to be the champion.
Good.
It hurt a little.
Oh, yeah.
Like one of Hal's favorite Pokemon is Flareon, and they got the Flareon out in game 1, and it just didn't quite do enough with that flame screen.
The strong energy, just enough math for me.
Hal was shy. If Hal had picked up a Growlithe or a Torchic to start evolving with that Spiritomb, would have been a different game.
Oh yeah. The Spiritomb also.
I'm sorry. This is your first win. Or second?
Yeah. Well, no, I was in the finals. Bowman won season 1, and
That's
then
right.
Hal has won the last 2. So sorry, I feel like everyone was rooting for the 3-peat.
I wasn't. I mean, Hal had their wins.
They had 2 wins, 2 championships, 2 rings.
Next season, I'll vote for Hal over you.
Oh, thanks. I got a text from Cody Karst that says rigged, but also says congrats.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
I mean, you were favored to win this match, I think, because you are the only deck that I think can actually has a favorable matchup against Hal's deck.
Okay, well, see, that's why, and I love how there's some little rock paper scissors things depending on matchups. I was talking to Sam because Sam almost beat me. We had our game 2 went down to me gambling. Does he have a way to add a card to his deck or not? And just some awesome stall plays. And if he would have won, I feel like he never played Hal. He's pure water, pure Kingdra, and Kingdra hits so hard and so efficient with energies. So that might have been a tough matchup. But on the opposite end, Ian they were all good games, but Ian beat me in the regular season. So I feel like if Ian would have beat Hal, which sounds like it was a close, good game, then I would have been worried about those bayonets that hit me for weakness.
Oh yeah.
Hal just can't be beaten once they set up. So you have to,
Yeah.
like, we were talking about it during the casting, like that the reason that like Spiritomb wins the game against a lot of people, you actually can kill Spiritomb in 2 turns without any trainer support.
Yeah, and thank God I started a supporter. Like that first hand I was computer
Yeah, the
search, but
collector.
I was lucky to have collector and then get end into better cards. Because if I was just stuck with computer search while that Spiritomb was active, they would have been able to set up their whole board, and I would have been stuck. So I got, again, the end completely saved me. I was dead in the water while they had a Spiritomb active.
I think that was the defining moment of game. Hal had hit a Torchic off of that, then that would have, well, I don't think they would have won, but it would have been a much closer game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was an excellent match. They didn't manage to get Arcanine EX out against.
Oh, I saw it in the regular season, and yeah, those EXs that are now one prizers, they're just so beefy, and when you can replenish the energy with Blaziken, it's scary. I needed my
yeah.
burn defense tools as well. That's why I saved the one burn or status condition stadium. I wasted a computer search just to go get the other one in case I would need it later.
Yeah, I absolutely could not deal with that Pokebody Fire Remedy. I'm too, because my main cheap attacker was Leafeon. I can't keep
Oh
it
yeah,
static.
yeah, it's tanky.
It was an excellent match, Mikey. Well played.
Thanks. Glad
Well
you guys
played on
had
both
fun.
fronts.
Yeah, shout out to Hal, a real one. Sorry to stop the three-peat, but
Someone
Okay,
had to
you
I will
had
get
good
another
runs.
shot.
Yeah,
already psyched for the next draft here on the 15th.
me
Yeah.
too. I'm gonna try to share 2 options to vote for this weekend, and one of them will be Mutant. But shout out to you guys or anyone watching. If you guys want to make a cube and have that be one we do, that would be cool too.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, good games, everybody. Out there.
Peace.
Bye. I think if you hit it stop streaming in OBS, it works like you would do on Twitch.
Okay, cool.